Right, hell yeah. Let's see.
Hello.
This week, Gangzen, I think we merged the two journal PRs. Um, let's see. I got some reviews done on Myungwon's Pieter T PR. He is trying to generalize the Pieter T structure so that only segment manager internals care about the segment manager part, or care about the segment part, so that we'll be able to use addresses for random access devices seamlessly within seamlessly within SeaStore and Transaction Manager. So that's getting closer. And Joseph is working on the ZNS segment manager, and he's got most of the functionality working. We have a couple of actual ZNS devices in one of the lab nodes, so that is also getting close. Radek, how's it going?
Hello. I've last week I was working mostly on classical OSD, but now I'm back in Crimson. Yesterday I sent a PR that removes it's for Rook Crimson effort and removes the necessity for any extra Crimson specific configuration at client side in Kubernetes cluster. Also scheduled a new tautology run and also addressed the comments in the MS Learn ADDR from peer PR. Basically, that's it. And Hinshin, I think that the reason why we cannot have those extra check is because how networking in Kubernetes is orchestrated. Basically, every pod has a dedicated local IP address, local in-network interface. On nodes where all pods hosted inside a node boundary have those network interfaces breached. However, when it comes to communicate with a pod that is placed on remote node, the addresses got remapped. Basically, it's a form of NAT. So local node local addresses that can be used only in the node boundaries, like let's say X5, are basically visible publicly as X1, the address of the let's say public interface of entire node. There is some NAT going there, and that's the reason why we cannot use the addresses from hello frame that are sent back from our peers. We need to learn from BSD socket layer.
One question is, can we just default MS Learn address from peer to true, always to true?
Yes, I see. I see what you mean. I was thinking about such solution, and it seemed reasonable under the assumption that we have control over the network entities. Initially, I saw the problems solely with Ceph Manager, which I assume is our under control when it comes to configuration. However, and unfortunately, the same thing happens with clients. And my intake is that we cannot simply assume that we have control over the client's configuration. So even if it's basically a rook misconfiguration, even if it's basically a rook bug, we still need to replicate it. We still need to be conform to the classical OSD.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Cool, thanks.
All right, Barth, how's it going? Barath, can you hear me?
Yeah, Sam. This week no updates. I mean, I have not done
Okay.
no upgrade.
Then May, how's it going?
Fixed UUID 0, the small PR is merged in, and I found that the Chromium ISE that can't start up because there is a third happened in interruptible future when set the interrupt condition. Because the global interrupt condition is not cleared at the next interrupt condition to be set, so there is a third happened. And from the log, I saw that the first peer event still in the running and not called reset, but the second one, event start, happened. So that seems Xuhan said that we don't support the interrupt nested. But this issue only happened on my traceology test environment. I didn't see it on my local machine. And I will discuss with Xuhan offline to how to address it.
So the basic problem is that PG itself is using interruptible future and SeaStore is as well?
Not SeaStore, just in the PG layer. The first PG event, period event is not finished, so we didn't clear the global interrupt condition. But the second one is happen, and they want to set the global interrupt condition. So Xuhan observed there, if the input condition is equal to the global condition, so they are not equal.
Right. Can you ping me on that bug? I'm curious. And also, can you file a bug, I guess?
Okay. Into the tracker?
Yeah.
Oh, sure. No problem.
Just so you can put the log in the observations you saw.
Sure. So, yeah, we need to address it and then continue the test because it is blocked there.
Cool.
Okay, that's all.
That's exciting. Sunil, how's it going?
Hi, sir. Like actually, the last week, like I tried with respect to upstream Ceph, but in the upstream Ceph master also, I am able to see OST object stored as like blue store. So where will be getting the SeaStore object store?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Means in the upstream master, like we still in the I'm able to like when I tested with respect to upstream master Ceph, I can see the OST store as a like blue store.
Right.
So like suppose if you wanted to test with respect to SeaStore, like like do you have any specific branch? Or
SeaStore isn't ready yet. It's definitely going to crash. So we're not that far yet, I think. Right now, for any testing you want to do, you want to focus on the blue store. That makes sense?
Yes.
If you do want to test SeaStore, you can run it, but you'd have to. I'm not even sure. Just basically, none of the deployment tooling is able to deal with SeaStore yet. So, yeah, it would be a lot of work. If you're interested, though, in starting to get that to work, the actual disk layout is pretty similar to BlueStore. So it would be basically a matter of swapping the object store param from BlueStore to SeaStore and then fixing all of the problems that will come up, for what it's worth.
Sorry, are you trying to implement this hard disk support for SeaStore?
No. Well, I wanted to test some of the SeaStore features.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just general purpose testing on it. You could, but before you would be able to actually test SeaStore, you would need to wire it through most of the existing deployment stuff, which hasn't been done yet. If you did want to test it on vstart, you can do that. There's a -- SeaStore option. But I'm guessing you wanted to use Ceph ADM or something.
I tried with Ceph already.
Yeah, so we're not quite there yet in SeaStore. We'll let you know.
Thanks, Ceph.
Zhuihao, what's up?
Last week I rebased the spread LF strategy code to the master branch and tried to test its work. However, I run into a serious running out of segments failure. At first, it's because at first it was running out of segments because the GC didn't start at all. It didn't reclaim any space, and that's because of 32-bit int type overflow. So I submit a PR to fix it. But after that, I still I was still running out of segments, and I'm still trying to find the root cause for that problem. And I was also looking into the trim-maze problem, where we have an interruptible future cert trigger. I think the situation was like this. At first, one pairing event starts to be processed, starts to be processed, and which created an interrupt condition in the background. But then before it finished processing, it push the PG state to active and try to start another pairing event to recover the PG data. So we have a nested interruption context problem. I think we may solve this problem by implement some kind of interrupted condition stack, but I'm not sure of that. That's all for me.
So wait a minute, we got two different interruptible conditions on the same PG?
Yeah.
Did I get that right?
Yeah. The first is created by a pairing event that pushed the PG state to active.
Sure. Okay.
And before it finishes processing, it starts another pairing event to recover the PG data. So we have a nested interruptible condition.
Because it starts processing the new continuation before the first event completed.
Yeah.
Another way to do it would be to avoid processing that continuation until we finish processing the first one.
Yeah. That's also approach. Yeah.
So I actually think you should do that for this specific case.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm not sure we need the stack in general, because within a PG, we shouldn't really be handling more than one event at once. We should complete handling an event and then move on to the next thing.
Okay.
Right.
So I think I should postpone the second pairing event to the end of the first one. The first one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For instance, if we call into SeaStore from PG, we get a different condition, so it's not a problem, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're only really interested in cases where we're concurrently calling into the same. Yeah, I think we probably want to sort of replicate a PG lock-like behavior, where we finish processing an event before we start processing the next one. That seems right.
Okay.
It's a little weird though, because if we like block on IO or something, we really do want to process another event, I think.
Okay. I'll try to do that. By the way, I want to apologize for that we were speaking Mandarin before this meeting.
Oh, no, not at all. I'm glad you guys were able to talk more comfortably, actually. You don't need to apologize for that literally at all, ever. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, not a problem. Yingjin, how's it going?
Yeah, last week, the journal submitter is merged, and I continue to work on to merge journal headers and submit another PR to adjust the journal head, journal tail target, and the committed to, and which is also merged. So I'm still working on the merging journal headers feature this week. So that's all for now.
All right, is there anything else we want to discuss? All right, have a good week. Later.
Thank you. See you later.
Later.
Okay, bye.
Thank you.
Bye bye.